The Last Passenger on Bus 13, an original fictional horror story. I drove the final city route because nobody else wanted it. The shift began after midnight and ended just before 3, when the streets were empty and every bus stop looked abandoned. My name is Elias Ward. For 6 months, I had driven the number 13 route from the central terminal to the far edge of the city. The company usually sent me a modern electric bus, but one Friday in October, mine would not start. The garage supervisor handed me an old diesel bus instead. Its paint was dull blue, its heater clicked like it was trying to speak, and the route number above the windshield glowed in faded red. 13. Be back before 3, the supervisor said, and do not take the old lakeside road if the weather turns. Rain was already falling when I left the terminal. At first, the ride was normal. A nurse got off near the hospital, 2 students left at the university stop. By 1:50, I was alone. The city lights thinned out behind me, and the road became a dark ribbon between wet trees. At 2:13 exactly, I saw someone waiting at a stop that had been closed for years. The sign was still there, leaning beside the road, but there was no shelter, no streetlight, and no sidewalk. Just rain, trees, and a woman in a long black coat. I should have kept going. The stop was not on my route anymore. But she raised one hand, and I stopped.
She climbed aboard without looking at me. Water ran from her coat onto the bus floor, but her hair was completely dry. I asked where she was going. She did not answer. I asked for a ticket. She placed an old paper slip in the fare tray, then walked to the very last seat. The ticket was yellow with age. It had been punched by hand, like the tickets drivers used before I was born. I picked it up, expecting to find a date or destination, but the ink had bled away in the rain. The only thing I could read was a time. 2:13 a.m. I watched her through the mirror. Her hands were folded in her lap. Her face stayed hidden beneath the hood of her coat. 5 minutes later, I checked the mirror again. The last seat was empty. I pressed the brakes so hard that the bus shuddered. I looked down the aisle. The woman was now sitting 3 rows behind me. I did not hear her move. I called dispatch on the radio. "This is 13. I have a passenger issue." Static answered first. Then June, the night dispatcher, said, "Elias, what bus are you driving?" 13, the old blue one from the garage. The radio went quiet. Finally, she said, "Pull over at the next safe place. Do not continue toward the lake." Before I could ask why, the woman spoke from behind me. "He always misses the turn." Her voice was soft, almost gentle, but I felt it in my chest more than I heard it. I looked in the mirror. She was standing in the aisle now, one hand resting on the metal pole. Her hood had slipped back. She was young, maybe 20, with pale skin and tired eyes. Her face looked familiar, in the way a stranger's face sometimes does in a dream. I told June I was turning around. She did not answer. The radio gave a sharp burst of static. Then another voice came through. A man's voice. Frantic. Distant. 13, do you copy? The road is washed out. Turn back. The message repeated. Same words. Same panic. Over and over. Outside, the rain became heavier. My headlights caught a road sign ahead. Lakeside. 3 miles. That was impossible. I had already passed the turnoff. The woman came closer. In the mirror, I saw that she held another paper ticket. She placed it beside my seat. This one was dry. Printed across the top were the words, City Transit. Under them was a date. October 14, 2014. 12 years ago. And beneath the date was a passenger name. Elias Ward. I stared at the ticket until the road vanished beneath the glare of my headlights. I told myself it was a prank. I told myself someone at the garage had found old tickets and wanted to scare the new driver. Then the bus radio came alive again. June was crying. "Elias," she said, "listen to me. Bus 13 was not in the garage tonight. It was taken out of service in 2014. I gripped the wheel. What happened in 2014? For several seconds, all I heard was rain on the roof. Then she said, "It went into the lake. There were 11 passengers. The driver was never found." The woman behind me whispered, "You promised you would get us home." A flash of lightning filled the windshield. For 1 second, I did not see wet road ahead. I saw the inside of the bus.
broken and tilted sideways. Water pressed against the windows. People were screaming. My hands were younger. Blood ran down my sleeve. And I was wearing an old blue transit uniform. The vision was gone, but the smell of lake water stayed. I looked at my reflection in the driver's side window. My uniform had changed. The modern black shirt was gone. In the glass, I wore a blue shirt with a metal name badge. Elias Ward. The road bent sharply left. Ahead, through the rain, was the lake.
I hit the brakes. Nothing happened. The pedal fell to the floor, and the bus kept moving. The speedometer climbed. 30, 40, 50. Behind me, every seat was suddenly occupied. In the mirror, I saw the nurse, the 2 students, and the woman in black. Then I saw 10 more faces, soaked and silent. They were not looking at the road. They were looking at me. The woman leaned beside my shoulder. "This time," she said, "take the turn." On the right, just before the broken guardrail, a narrow service road appeared between the trees. It had not been there before. I turned the wheel with both hands. The bus slid sideways. Metal screamed against the rail. For a moment, the lake filled the windshield. Then everything stopped.
I woke to gray morning light and the sound of crows. The bus stood at the central terminal. It was empty, dry. New buses moved around it as if nothing had happened. June was waiting beside the door. Her face was white.
"You made it back," she said. I asked her about the woman, about the crash, about the ticket with my name. June looked down at the old blue bus, then at me. "Elias," she said carefully, "you were the driver in 2014. I laughed because I did not know what else to do. I told her I had worked here for 6 months. She opened her phone and showed me an old news article. The photograph beneath the headline showed the driver of Bus 13 standing beside the same vehicle. He had my face. The date at the top of the article was October 14, 2014. My employee file said I was hired 6 months ago. My apartment key was in my pocket. My phone was full of messages. But when I opened the camera, every photo showed the same thing. A rain-streaked window, a dark road, and a red route sign glowing 13. That night, at 2:13, my phone rang. The caller ID said Bus 13. I did not answer. Outside my apartment, somewhere far below, I heard the hiss of bus doors opening.